Dearest Mother, the war for our independence ends its 5th year with the Americans losing in the South. The British took Charleston, and with it, over 5,000 American soldiers. From his stronghold in New York, British Commander General Clinton controls the coast. Only the fortifications at West Point stop him from using the Hudson River to cleave the states in two. General Washington tries valiantly to gain ground in New York, but we are at a stalemate. To make matters worse, there is constant talk of spies. Just the other day, James told us of his conspiracy theory.
Sarah! James says there's only one explanation as to why things are going badly for General Washington.
And what might that be, James?
Spies.
Spies? What proof of that could you possibly have?
What happened when General Washington planned to attack Sir Henry Clinton in New York?
Nothing happened.
Exactly. Because of Clinton's sudden countermoves that could only have taken place if the English had secret inside information.
Makes sense to me.
If James were correct, which I hope he is not, the spy would have to be someone in a trusted position close to General Washington. And I cannot imagine who could be so disloyal to such a noble person and such a noble cause.
My husband, the hard-working commander of West Point.
All thanks to being wounded in the service of America and never rewarded for it by Congress. When Congress sees fit to investigate me while rewarding the likes of General Gates, they corrupt the ideals of the Revolution.
I'm so excited about the story I am covering. General Benedict Arnold, the hero of the Battle of Saratoga, is in command of the strategically important West Point.
So?
So, I was there at Washington's headquarters when he got command.
Benedict, I have great news. I would like you to take command of the left wing of my army.
It is too great a prize for one as unworthy as I.
Nonsense. You earned it. There is no general more valiant leading his men in the field of battle.
I cannot, as much as I wish to, accept so high an honor. I am afraid the old wounds will not allow it. My leg is too bothersome to allow me to ride, much less endure the hardships of battle.
You are too good a friend, Benedict, and too valuable a general to be wasted in Philadelphia.
Perhaps I could serve in another capacity, one less strenuous than a field command.
I can't think of any.
West Point. Excuse me, General, it's just the command of West Point is available, and you yourself have spoken of its importance.
True. With it, we control the Hudson River and keep the British bottled up in New York City.
Lose it, and the British are free to travel the Hudson River.
Then I'd best put my best general in charge to secure the fort and the war. The job is yours.
You do me a great honor.
Let's see. A story about Benedict Arnold sitting around commanding a fort versus one about spies on Washington's staff.
At least my story isn't a figment of my imagination.
We'll see what you think after I get back from talking to Colonel Livingston. When spies write messages, they do it so only other spies can read it.
How?
Sometimes they use invisible ink.
Oh, I love invisible ink. It shows up when you heat it.
Right. Others use a piece of paper with holes in it. See? If you read only the words you can see in the holes, you get the secret message. Sometimes they write their message in coded numbers that refer to a specific page, sentence, and word in a book. The person who gets the coded numbers has a copy of the same book.
Oh, so they use the numbers to find the words, and voila, it spells out the secret message.
Then there is the mask letter. Anyone reading the regular letter doesn't know there's a secret message hidden in the writing.
How's it work?
Simple. The spy knows he's only supposed to read what he sees inside the cutout. In this case, an hourglass.
Magnifique! But I will invent the unbreakable Henri code. Paper, paper. I need paper!
Colonel Livingston!
What do I know about spies? That's a good question. For one thing, I know they like to sneak back and forth across the no man's land between our outposts and those of the English army.
Who controls the no man's land?
Two groups from opposing sides. The cowboys for the English and the skinners for the Americans.
They sound scary.
They say they're helping our cause by intercepting suspicious persons who might be coming into New York.
I'd like to meet these Skinners. Maybe I can learn something about spies from them.
Personally, I think they're most interested in stealing money from travelers. But if you're determined, I'll give you a pass for safe passage. What's this gibberish?
Excusez-moi, I was practicing my secret code.
General Washington, I expect you're pleased to have Benedict Arnold command the fort at West Point.
Yes, if only I had 10 more Benedict Arnolds. Maybe then I could overcome British advantages of manpower and supplies in the South.
With all respect, sir, you seem worried.
It is my job to worry. But no more of it, for I insist you join me for breakfast at General Arnold's house.
It would be a pleasure.
I've got to relax. I'm sure I will come across a Skinner before I meet a cowboy.
So, Major Andre, what are the terms our American spy presents to us?
One moment, please, sir. There. I finished deciphering the letter. Perhaps, General Clinton, you should read it for yourself.
So, he wishes to meet you in person at Sheldon's headquarters in Lower Salem, with you disguised as John Anderson.
Sir, with all due respect, this is an unacceptable risk. Should I pose as John Anderson, as he suggests, and be captured, I'll not be treated as a prisoner of war, but as a spy. And as you know, sir, captured spies are hanged.
Yes, you're right. It's too hazardous. But if we exchange information with couriers at a slower pace, we increase the risk that the Americans will learn of our plans. Your spy must be in a hurry to be paid before that happens.
He leaves us few options. I'd better go to meet him, but I will travel in my uniform.
I will make arrangements for your passage and return on the Vulture this very night.
Eureka! The secret Henri code! Colonel Livingston, I am almost finished. Want to try and break my secret code?
Not now. We spotted an English ship on the river off Teller's Point. I ordered my cannon to fire when they get into position.
I'd say they're there.
There!
She got away.
Just an owl.
Going somewhere? Come, lads!
We meet at last, Major Andre.
Major General Arnold.
I trust your journey was without peril?
So far. Do you realize, sir, the dangerous position you have put me in by asking me to meet you here? You had better have a good reason for such an imprudent demand.
Oh, I have many good reasons. After the American Congress failed to give me the promotions I deserved, they accused me of misusing their money.
Perhaps it will make you feel better to know you shall be given a rank and commission in the British Army befitting a general of your talents.
And the 20,000 pounds?
Your new loyalty commands a high price, but we agree.
Thank you. Sadly, I find myself deeply in debt due to some ill-fated business ventures and my wife's lavish lifestyle.
My regards to your wife. I have not had the pleasure of seeing her since our occupation of Philadelphia.
Ah, yes. Peggy never really lost her fondness for the crown and Mother England.
She is not alone in her affection for His Majesty. There are a great many loyalists.
And I expect there will be a great many more when they hear of my defection. We all know the war goes badly for the Americans in the South. I, for one, believe you British will be victorious, and I'd like to be on the winning side.
May we get to the point? Every moment I delay increases the chances of my being discovered.
Sir, I give you victory. These are plans to the fortifications at West Point, along with the placement of the troops under my command and my promise to further weaken the garrison by sending most of the troops to the countryside. Information I'm sure General Clinton will find useful when he attacks.
Sir, a victory at West Point allows us control of the Hudson River and the chance to win the war by splitting the rebel colonies in half.
Exactly.
And you get?
Everything I asked for.
Who be ye? Loyalist or patriot?
I'm a journalist from Ben Franklin's Pennsylvania Gazette.
A journalist, huh? We don't see many of them out here. But you still didn't answer my question.
I have a pass from Colonel Livingston. I'm looking for some Skinners.
Why didn't you say so? We're Skinners.
Phew. For a minute there, I thought you might be cowboys.
Huh. For a minute, we thought you were a spy. And you know what we do to them.
Major Andre.
My ship, the Vulture, sailed without me. She was driven upstream by American troops.
You shall have to return to the British lines by traveling overland.
General, are you mad? I'm behind the American lines. Your lines.
No longer. When I gave you the plans to West Point last night, I would say that I officially switched sides.
The point is, I'm wearing a British officer's uniform. How long do you think it will be before I'm spotted?
Here, take this pass. This area is under my command. My signature will guarantee safe passage to you as American agent John Anderson. There are some civilian clothes piled on that bench. You can change into those.
If I pose as an American in civilian clothes and am discovered, I'll be treated as a spy.
It's your decision.
Though I fear capture dressed as an American, I fear the chance of being spotted in this uniform poses the greater risk.
I think the plans to West Point are less likely to be spotted in this boot than in the pouch bearing the seal of His Majesty.
So, how did all of you come to be Skinners? I mean, there are those who say Skinners are just bandits.
We're here to hunt down cowboys or catch spies, which we can't do with your continual jabbering. Shh. You hear that?
Hear what?
Now! After we shoot!
I am a British officer. I trust you are cowboys loyal to the king and will let me pass.
Well, you're wrong, Redcoat. We're Skinners, loyal to America. We're hunting cowboys and spies.
Oh, well, I just said I was a British officer because I thought you were cowboys. By your Hessian jacket, sir.
Oh, this? I was a prisoner a few days back. I grabbed it when I escaped.
Actually, my name is John Anderson, and I'm an American. I have a pass signed by General Arnold.
I'm not interested in your pass. I'm interested in where your money is.
I thought you said you weren't bandits.
We're gonna see if he has any English coin on him. I mean, that'd prove he was an English officer, wouldn't it?
I guess.
Boys? A gold and silver watch, but no money. Check his boots.
Gentlemen, there's no need to look.
What have we got here? The way I read it, looks to be some sort of plan of West Point. You're a journalist. What do you make of it?
These are the plans to West Point, all right. But what's he doing with them?
Your suspicions were correct, Paulding. These are plans of West Point, and there appear to be notations telling how to render the fortifications useless. Paulding, I want you to take this man, these papers, and this message to General Arnold.
I'm sure General Arnold can straighten this out.
Not so fast. Jameson, am I to understand that this man was carrying plans of the fortifications at West Point?
Yes, sir.
You don't find that suspicious? I do. I want those papers sent with a message to General Washington that we are holding a man as a spy.
Spy?
If he's a spy, then he must be communicating with someone close to Washington. My theory. I was right.
I pray your so-called theory is wrong. For if these papers were indeed written by Arnold's hand, then that would make Benedict Arnold a traitor as well.
This is terrible. I've got to find Sarah.
Gentlemen, please, have some breakfast. Aides to General Washington are always welcome at the Arnold breakfast table.
She's right, gentlemen. I may be a general, but I never, ever argue with my wife. Thank you, Samantha. Ah, it's a message from Talmadge.
Oh, and Samantha, please prepare some more food. General Washington and a guest will be arriving shortly. Benedict, what is it?
Something's come up, dear. We must talk upstairs. Gentlemen, if you'll excuse us for a moment. Quick, close the door.
Benedict, what is...
I must leave immediately. My life depends on it.
Leave? Benedict, you're scaring me.
I don't have time to explain. I gave the plans of West Point to Major Andre.
What for? John's involved with you in something?
Yes, he's been caught. It won't be long before Washington learns I've betrayed America to the British and they come to arrest me.
This is terrible. What should I do?
So you know nothing of any of this.
Benedict!
I love you, but I must go. Now, I'll be in contact.
I'll do what I can to help.
Good morning, General Arnold. General Washington has given me the pleasure of joining you. What's happened?
It must have been the eggs in the pancake batter. There, I'm feeling better already.
Why did General Arnold ride off just now?
Sarah! The spy's been telling the British everything? It's Benedict Arnold!
Arnold has betrayed us. Whom can we trust now? Selling the plans to West Point for 20,000 pounds. I want the army on marching alert. Bring all troops from the surrounding countryside to West Point and prepare to be attacked.
Now we know why Arnold begged Washington for command of West Point.
He even spread our soldiers out to make them vulnerable to attack. All the lives he's jeopardized. All the people he's betrayed. General Washington who supported him. His men who died for him.
And you, Sarah, you traveled with him. You respected him.
I was inspired by him. He seemed so thrilled when I told him I'd become a patriot. I wonder if he'd already become a traitor. Is that what I am, James? A traitor to my country?
This is your country.
Why is it noble for me to turn to the American side, but evil when he defects to the British?
You did it for liberty. Arnold did it for money and ambition. And he didn't care who would suffer or die so he could get them.
Yes, I did it for liberty. And I write for liberty too. I've written many stories for the Gazette about General Arnold. And now, James, for liberty, I shall write another. We have all been betrayed by Benedict Arnold. Those of us who knew of him, and those of us who knew him.
Follow me to victory!
Some think the treachery of such a great soldier will cause us to lose heart and give up our fight. But I know it will not, because we do not fight for Benedict Arnold. We do not even fight for George Washington. We fight for freedom. And that cause is bigger than any man.
Sarah, James, Moses! I've got it! A secret letter code that General Washington can use.
And the British won't be able to figure it out?
Nope. Regardez. See? Just an ordinary letter. Now watch. You just read what isn't covered by your hand. Isn't it amazing?
It's amazing, all right. There's just one problem. What if the person trying to read your coded letter has a bigger hand than you? Like mine.
Dear, I am a pest?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Dearest Mother, it feels wonderful to stop and rest upon my return to New Windsor to cover events at General Washington's headquarters. I just left James and Henri in Newport, Rhode Island. Henri is so excited that French forces have arrived. He brags that they will end the war, and soon. I do hope he's right. Sometimes it seems as if the violence has been going on forever.
Light company to drill after sundown.
James thinks he can use Henri's help speaking French when he meets General Rochambeau, the commander of the French army. He told Henri he could go with him, as long as Henri promises to behave himself.
Excusez-moi! Excuse me!
Whoa!
And who have we here?
Henri, what are you doing?
Paying tribute to the pastry of my homeland.
Pas de problème. It's all right. Return to your duties.
Merci!
So, you are French?
Oui!
Is this young man a fellow journalist, James?
My apprentice, and he humbly apologizes for his actions, sir.
An apprentice who speaks French? Perhaps he might be interested in reporting firsthand how the British fleet has our navy blockaded in the harbor?
Would I? I mean, oui, mon général! I've been waiting for a chance to prove I'm as good as James.
I guess he deserves the chance, General.
I will make arrangements immediately.
Whoa! Ugh. Driver, is someone shooting at us?
Sure looks that way, ma'am. It's a band of armed Tories. I'm Robert Shirtliff, Light Infantry, Massachusetts 4th Regiment. You best come with me to safety.
Well, I'm not so sure. All right. Armed Tories here?
Yes, ma'am. There are folks in New York still loyal to England.
Oh.
They help the British by attacking us where we don't expect it, behind our own lines. It's our job to stop them.
Is that how you got that scar on your forehead?
Yep, from a loyalist saber.
You were cut by a sword? You don't even look old enough to shave.
Shh, they're getting close.
General Rochambeau, sir, how do you like America?
It is not what I expected. Why, you don't even have a centralized government. Your Congress can only suggest what the state should do. Your treasury is empty, your military supplies are nearly exhausted, and the local citizenry is angry.
I know. Even General Washington is upset that his soldiers must take food from citizens to feed themselves. But I'm sure he'll think of something.
He already has. The general sent Colonel Laurent to France to beg for more gold, guns, and gunpowder.
Why would he send Colonel Lawrence when Ben Franklin is already there?
Comte de Vergennes, may I present Congress's special envoy, Colonel John Lawrence of South Carolina.
Bonjour, Colonel.
And good day to you, sir. Dr. Franklin has told me of how unfailingly the French Foreign Minister of Finance has supported our cause.
I wish I could do more.
You can do more.
Colonel Laurent, while you were journeying here to France, we graciously agreed to give America a gift of 6 million livres. You should congratulate Dr. Franklin.
Sir, you mock me. We need 25 million livres, otherwise I fear that the sword I now wear to defend France as our ally, I may be forced to draw against France as a British subject.
If I am to be insulted in this manner, I'm afraid I must take my leave.
Monsieur Vergennes, a message has just arrived from Chevalier de la Luzerne.
And what does our ambassador to the American Congress in Philadelphia have to say?
He wants to know how you are progressing with your plan for a peace conference.
Shh! The Americans know nothing of my plan to betray their fight for liberty by going behind their backs to end the war with England.
Colonel Lawrence, a spoonful of honey will catch more flies than a gallon of vinegar.
Are you suggesting I apologize?
In a word, yes.
I cannot. We need that money. Don't you understand? General Washington sent me because he believed a soldier could explain to them that we are at the end of our tether, and now or never our deliverance must come.
Colonel, I am 75 years old and suffering from a severe attack of gout. I am afraid that I do not have the energy to pursue an action I cannot win. I will write Congress that I have secured the 6 million livres and add to that my resignation.
How many Tories do you think are out there?
I can't tell yet.
The Tories are right behind us, Robert. Guess we stopped them, Robert. Robert!
Rochambeau said that to you? We're disorganized and ill-prepared to fight?
In so many words, yes.
I don't understand him. He wants to send his troops south to aid Lafayette when he could join with me to retake New York City and end the war.
Robert, you've got to let the doctor examine you. The shot is still in your shoulder.
I don't want any doctors operating on me. I've seen too many men die after surgery. I'll handle it myself.
I don't know what your story is. Treating your own wound? I don't know if you're brave or foolish.
Ships always rock like this, back and forth and back and forth.
Rest him out smartly. Report.
The storm is putting the English fleet out of commission. Come, we must ride to Rhode Island and urge Rochambeau to send the French fleet to strike now.
Retaking New York City would make big headlines.
That would take too long. Right now, I need a quick victory. My spies are hearing rumors that Vergennes, the French foreign minister, wants a peace conference with the British to end the war. I've got no time to waste. I must have the French fleet dispatched. This is the perfect time for Rochambeau to sail for the south, capture Benedict Arnold, and defeat his army.
Now that headline would stop the peace conference.
Yeah!
French officers are so gallant.
I too am aware of the rumors that de Vergennes wishes to make peace with the British.
Then why do you waste 2 days honoring me with these balls?
It takes time to properly feed sheep for a successful mission.
Robert, are you all right? Robert? Hello, is there a doctor out there?
Yes, I'm Dr. Barnabas Binney.
I was talking to Robert, and all of a sudden he stopped talking and started sweating.
Symptoms sound like malignant fever. It's all over the camp.
Is he going to be all right?
I'll check his heart. What? Oh, no.
What is it? Is he dying?
No, Robert's going to live, but how shall I say this? Robert isn't a he. He's a she.
What? Dr. Binney thought it would be better if you recovered from your wounds here in his house, away from prying eyes. So while the doctor figures out what to do about a young soldier who everyone thinks is a man, but really is a woman, why don't you tell me your whole story?
Where should I start?
How about with your real name?
My name is Deborah Samson.
Deborah, why would a woman enlist in the Continental Army?
Heck, I was tall as most men, just as strong too, and I wasn't afraid to shoot a gun, so why shouldn't I fight for my country? I guess I was always kinda unconventional. See, my father went off to sea when I was a very young girl, and my mom was too poor to care for 7 kids. So I worked from the age of 10 to 18 as an indentured servant.
Indentured? You mean forced to stay and work, not able to leave until your mother's debt was paid off?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. And I'll tell you one thing, working in the fields made me strong. After my chores were done, I taught myself to read, Sarah. I read every book I could get my hands on. I must have learned a lot, because when I turned 18 and earned my freedom, they hired me to be a school teacher.
But I didn't think women were supposed to be school teachers.
I caused quite a stir, and I'll tell you something. I really did love teaching. I guess not following the rules just comes naturally to me.
And since the Army doesn't accept women, you enlisted as a man.
Well, I sure tried.
Timothy Thayer?
Yes, ma'am. The problem was, I tried to join up in my own hometown. Not the smartest thing.
Timothy Thayer, huh? Well, I only know of one person in this town that holds a quill that way, because of an injured finger on her left hand. And that's the school teacher, Deborah Samson.
They caught you and you tried again? Why?
Well, I just turned 21 and I didn't want to just get married. And I wanted to fight for my country. To all brave, healthy, able-bodied young men. I knew the Army was hard up for soldiers, so I went to a town further away and enlisted there.
How on earth did you go unnoticed by the other soldiers?
It was hard. They teased me about not shaving, so... I told him I was just too young to grow a beard.
Your story is amazing! You took so many risks.
Yes, but I was always afraid of being caught. I'd heard of some other women who disguised themselves as men to enlist. When they were discovered, they were disgraced.
But you still had the courage to follow what was in your heart, no matter what the obstacles. Deborah? You should rest now.
What amazes me is that her disguise has gone undiscovered for over a year.
What are you going to do?
I'm afraid that I must follow orders and inform the army as to the true identity of Robert Shirtliff.
What is it, James?
Excuse me, General. About the letter you wrote to your nephew?
Ah, yes. I wrote to Lund that if Rochambeau had ordered the French fleet to sail south when I wanted, we could have captured that traitor Benedict Arnold and destroyed his army.
I'm sorry to report that it's been printed in this New York Tory newspaper.
Outrageous! That was a private letter to my nephew, and I was deeply upset when I wrote it.
Now everyone, including Rochambeau, is going to read it.
I will write Rochambeau an apology for my blunder.
Dr. Franklin, your genius for inventions never ceases to amaze me.
I thought a duet on my glass harmonica with Marie Antoinette might be nice. If you'll excuse me, Virgin, I believe the letter I've been waiting for has arrived.
Is it from America?
It's Congress's response to the letter I sent. Thank goodness they do not accept my resignation. They had the good sense to realize that when I resigned, I wasn't feeling well. I must write Congress and tell them that I'm feeling better, and it will be a great honor to once again buckle down to the business of America.
Then I shall take my leave.
Monsieur Virgin, the English have replied to your request for a peace conference.
There will be no peace conference. The English refuse to attend.
Why?
Because King George considers it to be a matter solely between England and her colonies. That is the end of it.
Pardon, where do the sailors sleep?
You must be Henri. Follow me. I'll take you to your bunk. This is your bunk.
There's someone in it.
But of course, there aren't enough beds for the whole crew. So, you sleep in it when he is on watch.
I can handle that. I'll be too busy as a journalist to sleep anyway. So, where do we eat?
Dinner.
Sacre bleu! Is this what you usually eat?
No, this is better. Wait till we set sail. That's when we get the bad stuff.
Let's company! Marche! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4!
So, you're sure you don't want to continue as a journalist with the French Navy?
Oui. I guess you could say I don't have the stomach for it.
Hey, Washington's talking to Rochambeau. Come on.
Count Rochambeau, I am dearly sorry for any embarrassment I caused you with my letter. It was written in a time of distress and was meant to be private.
Mon General, I received your letter of apology. Consider it a matter of no consequence.
Thank you, sir, but I must persist. Have you given any further thought to my suggested plan of attack?
General, I have indeed considered your plan, and am now ready to join you in an attack on General Cornwallis in New York City.
Boy, Sarah missed a really good story.
know I'm gonna be disgraced.
But what you did shows how dedicated you are to the cause of liberty.
But I'm still worried they'll put me in jail for dressing as a man.
Deborah Samson, also known as Robert Shirtliff. Because you impersonated a man and enlisted against military policy.
Here it comes.
It is my honor to note your extraordinary instance of female heroism by discharging the duties of a faithful, gallant soldier. And therefore, I present you with an honorable discharge from the Continental Army of the United States, Light Infantry, Massachusetts 4th Regiment.
For a minute there, I thought I was in a heap of trouble.
Except you showed the whole nation what you are capable of.
I reckon I did, didn't I?
So, what will you do now that this adventure is over?
I guess I'm just gonna have to find me another one.
Another letter to your mother?
Yes. I just had to tell her how impressed I was with Deborah Samson.
I'll tell you, she impressed me, leaving that shot in her shoulder.
It's more than that. She made me wonder, if a woman can find a way to serve as a soldier, why can't she enjoy the same rights of citizenship that men have? Why can't this whole country be unconventional? I mean, aren't we already rebels? Henri, what are you doing?
If I couldn't be a journalist, I wanted to show you I could be a printer, all by myself.
That's great. Now you could show us how you could clean up.
All by yourself.
General Greene, being appointed to command the Southern Army is quite an honor.
Honor is an interesting word for it, James. The Southern Army is exhausted, and the British have a great deal of support in the South. We must rally the population here to our side, or we could lose the war. My greatest hope is that the governor of Virginia will provide me with much-needed men and supplies.
My greatest hope is that he'll provide us with some much-needed Southern desserts.
And I'm looking forward to writing a story about the man who wrote the words, "All men are created equal." The governor's mansion! Just think, in a few minutes I'll be talking with Thomas Jefferson. How do you address the author of the Declaration of Independence? Your Excellency. No, too formal. Mr. Jefferson. No, too familiar.
I hope we get to see him soon. I can't take much more of this.
She looks kind of like a chicken trying to dance in sticky mud.
Sir, great to see you again. Ah, that's better.
The governor will see you now.
Sir, great to see you again. Sir, great to see you again. Sir, great to see you again. We met before, in Philadelphia, you remember? Oh, maybe you don't. I was disguised as a chambermaid and I stole some of your trash. Well, I didn't really steal it. After all, it was trash and I was just doing some investigative reporting. And I was investigating you. No, that's not right. I was just trying to find out what goes on in that brilliant mind of yours. Anyway, hello. James, tell me that wasn't perfectly awful.
It was better than I could have ever hoped.
Forgive me. I was jotting down a thought about developing free schools that all our nation's children could attend. A pleasure, General.
Sir, great to see you again. Whoa!
And you must be Henri.
Henri Richard Maurice Toutois Lefebvre, from France. Yum!
So, how may I be of help to you, General?
Governor Jefferson, the British are preparing for a large-scale foray into the South.
I'm not surprised. Most Southerners are country folk whose main concern is earning their daily bread. They don't care which side they're on in the war.
Quite so. Here's the situation we face. This half of the desk is the Carolinas, this half Virginia. You're here. The traitor Benedict Arnold is off the coast, and Cornwallis holds strong British positions at Georgetown, Camden, Winnsboro, and 96. Oh yes, and here is the small force Horatio Gates has left me. A force I have not yet had the pleasure of seeing. I will take my forces to the Carolinas. If we don't stop Cornwallis there, he will drive north and crush Virginia. Governor, I'll need Virginia militiamen and weapons if I'm to have any chance of preventing Cornwallis from winning the South.
I evened things out. Now it's a fair fight.
Yours is a difficult position, General. I will help you the moment I can, but right now I have no weapons to give you, and all my militiamen have served their required time and gone home. I'm afraid I can be of no help, General Greene. I'm sorry.
Soldiers can be asked to serve additional time, but cannot be forced to do so. The idea of a people's army is unfathomable.
I admire what Governor Jefferson is saying, sir. Giving men the right to choose whether they will or will not fight sounds to me like freedom.
But we're in a war, Sarah. We won't have any freedom if we have no soldiers.
You do have a point, James. General, I hope you are successful in North Carolina. And James, Henri, I'll keep you up on events here in Virginia. In the meantime, I plan to find out how Thomas Jefferson found the inspiration to write the Declaration of Independence.
I hope you don't end up as disappointed in Governor Jefferson as I am. Be well, Sarah.
Be safe.
Look! Up ahead! Soldiers! Are they British?
No, probably some leftover Virginia militia. I am General Nathanael Greene. Who's your commanding officer?
General Horatio Gates, sir. At least he used to be.
This is the Continental Army?
With these soldiers, and without Jefferson's militia, we're no match for the British.
You're full of good questions, Sarah. Yes, I think we should educate everyone. Men, women, even slaves.
And how exactly would you do it?
Ah, there's the problem. Having ideas and implementing them are two very different things.
Are they really? I mean...
The stores are in place. The firewood has been cut. Your home is secured for the winter, Master.
Thank you, Great George. I'll need Tuckahoe secured as well. And let me give you some letters for my wife and daughter. Excuse me, Sarah. We'll talk more later. Being governor takes a great deal of time from my family. Fortunately, I have help in remaining in contact with them.
Help? You own other human beings and you refer to them as help? You own slaves!
You, the man who wrote the Declaration of Independence, is what I wanted to say, but I didn't have the nerve. And by the way, Governor Jefferson is still unable to raise any militiamen to send to General Greene. As always, Sarah.
Have you noticed that every week it gets harder to tell what's in the soup? We've got the usual bear fat, but this batch looks to have beaver tail and muskrat.
That can't be beaver tail. It's got a tooth in it.
A tooth? I'm not eating this.
That's a first. But don't complain to the cook. Poor guy has to make meals out of anything he can catch.
There's only one way we can even hope to beat Cornwallis.
Beat Cornwallis? Half the men aren't well enough to walk.
Shh, come on.
My plan is to hit him when and where he's not expecting us, then run like the wind before he can catch us. Chasing us will force Cornwallis to use up all his supplies. He'll have to take new supplies from the local population. They will despise him for that. Then the people in the South will move over to our cause, and Cornwallis will withdraw. I hope.
That's his plan?
Where's that coming from? We're under attack! Take cover!
Dear Sarah, I don't know if General Greene's plan to get the British to chase us all over the Carolinas is helping us win the hearts and minds of the population, but I sure am getting to see a lot of the country. I do hope, though, that Thomas Jefferson can convince his militia to reinforce us before we get to see much more of it. But Sarah, how are you? Have you finished your interview with Thomas Jefferson? I can't wait to read it.
No, James. What can I possibly ask him that wouldn't be horribly disrespectful? Governor, would you please tell your slaves about how all men are created equal? And on top of it all, Benedict Arnold is attacking from the north. Oh, that traitor! James, we are forced to evacuate Richmond.
Sir, the British are nearing the city, 1,500 strong.
What of our militia?
Of the 4,600 men you called up, only 200 have reported.
That means Arnold will march into Richmond unopposed.
I never thought the traitor would make it all the way to Richmond. We must speed up our evacuation.
Over there, the tree! Seek cover! Follow him!
Not under the trees!
We've got to get these men out of the rain.
They could get struck by lightning. The trees attract it.
It is what gave Benjamin Franklin his idea for the lightning rod.
I'll yield to Dr. Franklin's science. Away from the trees! We'll try that barn over there.
Let's go! Halt! We heard you were coming, General. Get off my land.
Shelter from the rain, sir. That's all we require.
I want nothing to do with your insurrection. You and your men, keep moving.
We'll take his barn whether he likes it or not.
Take it!
Halt! You heard the man. We'll continue up the road. Move out!
James?
What?
I don't think this strategy, always running from the enemy, is working.
That's because you don't understand General Greene's brilliant tactics. At least this is an army now. An army people might join.
An army that can't feed its soldiers or keep them dry? Oh, sure, I'd join that army.
We have to put our faith in General Greene.
General Cornwallis, sir. All signs indicate that the enemy passed through here only hours ago.
I told you burning our wagons and excess baggage would speed us up.
Yes, sir, but it's also left us woefully short of food.
There's a farm ahead. We'll take what we need.
No, stop! You can't do that.
No!
Madam, your husband would do well to cooperate. Carry on!
We're loyalists. We've never supported the fight against England. If you take our stock, how are we to eat?
We are at war, my good woman. The king's soldiers come first. I have every confidence you will survive this inconvenience.
Move out! I'm all right. I'm all right.
Dear James and Henri, the British have withdrawn to Portsmouth, and we are returning to Richmond. Prior to our evacuation, Governor Jefferson had finally made some progress toward convincing the Virginia legislature to provide men and supplies for General Greene. Now he must start all over, and as for my interview with the governor, it will instead be an expose revealing his awful hypocrisy on the issue of slavery. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, Sarah.
James, are we ever going to eat tonight? I found some hickory nuts, a hunk of ox jerky, and, well, I think this was a squirrel.
Get that thing out of here.
Hey, that was hard to find!
Is food all you ever think about?
I was just...
There's more to this war than filling your belly.
I'm sorry, James.
Wait, Henri? I'm sorry. It's not you. I just found out there are still no reinforcements coming from Virginia. So the army's gonna have to keep running. Just like in New York and New Jersey, just like in Philadelphia, just like they've been doing for the whole war.
General Greene says if we make it across the Dan River tomorrow, the running might be over.
So what? You were right. His plan's not working. It's not winning anyone over to our cause. What am I supposed to tell the people who read our newspaper?
Tell them our forces are so thin that General Greene does not want to risk their lives in an uneven fight. And tell them that the food in the South is not what it's cracked up to be, unless they like squirrel.
Hold on!
I need to get my men across the river, and quickly. If the British catch us here, we'll be destroyed. Where are the fords?
Fords?
Yes, the best places to cross the river.
Use your eyes, Colonel. The river's in flood.
Then I'll need your boats.
Is that so? British or Continentals, you boys are all the same. Think you can take whatever you want? Well, I know you're not going to send my boats back. That'd just be giving the redcoats a way to cross the river. So, you're going to have to pay for them before you can take them.
That's only fair. I'll make you a trade.
You will?
I'll give you 20 horses for your boats. Good ones.
Why am I just watching? This is a great story.
The Southern Army owes you a debt of gratitude, sir. Thank you.
General, I was neutral in this war. But from now on, consider me what are we calling ourselves these days? Revolutionaries? Sons of liberty?
Just Americans.
Maybe we'll win their hearts and minds after all.
American! I'm an American!
I'm disappointed that the legislature has once again refused my call for more militia, but I can't say I'm surprised.
If you need men, sir, what about learning from the British? You could promise freedom to slaves who'll fight for America.
I might support it, but the Virginia legislature never will. The state's economy is dependent upon slavery.
Is the economy as important as the fact that all men are created equal?
No, Sarah, it isn't nearly as important.
But Governor Jefferson, you own slaves.
Yes, but I have proclaimed slavery an abomination that must be brought to an end.
Proclaimed? With respect, sir, proclaiming isn't doing.
This is a young country, Sarah. Still locked in a battle for its own survival. There are countless issues to be addressed, limitless problems to be solved. Slavery is one of the biggest. And Sarah, we will solve it. Do you view me and my colleagues as great men?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, we are great. Great with human flaws, as well as human hopes. I doubt there's a man among us great enough to see the horror of slavery eliminated in our lifetime. I've tried, and I will keep trying. And if we cannot correct this abomination, then those who follow us shall. Take courage in that.
Governor Jefferson, I must confess. I've been writing an expose about you and your slaves for Dr. Franklin's Gazette. But now, after listening to you, I don't think I'll publish it.
I commend your passion, Sarah. When the war ends, I intend to draft a plan for freeing all the slaves in this country. I'd welcome your thoughts on the subject.
Governor Jefferson, you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
I have always thought that one person of ability may accomplish great things for the world if he first forms a solid plan. And then passionately devotes himself to following it through.
Huh? What is it, James?
Master, do you believe in freedom?
You know I do. I'm a patriot. I believe in this new country.
General Lafayette left here only yesterday. I would like your permission to join him. Then I'll come back if I survive.
All right, James. You may offer your services to the General.
Thank you, sir. I'm much obliged.
Without a navy, we can do nothing decisive. With it, everything honorable and glorious.
General Washington, when do you think the French fleet will get here?
I expect General Rochambeau knows when Admiral de Grasse will grace us with his company, but our good ally is not safe. If the ships would arrive, we could take New York and end this war.
The French haven't even come through with support for Lafayette, one of their own.
Yes, General Knox. The poor Marquis races through the Virginia heat with barely 1,200 hungry men, trying to stop that traitor from burning more homes to the ground.
Benedict Arnold.
Pillaging my state. If only Lafayette could capture that traitor.
I want the traitor. I want Arnold alive to face the justice he deserves.
I would like to face General Arnold too, to ask him if he no longer believes all his lofty words about freedom.
But we are powerless, running like rabbits from place to place. Where are our French troops? Our ships?
Ships? Ships sail on water. Water is cold. Please don't mention cold, Jobert. It reminds me how hot I am.
Write this to Washington, please. Your Excellency. Now that Lord Cornwallis has joined Benedict Arnold here in Virginia, I'm not even strong enough to get beaten. I must find other means with which to fight. I remain supremely confident of our ultimate victory. But, sir, I am running out of men, supplies, and ideas.
Henri, you're in the presence of a general and a lady. Get dressed.
General, there's a Negro here who wishes to join us.
Bring him in. Who are you, my friend?
James, sir.
What is your last name, James?
My master's name is Armistead, so that is my name, too.
How do you think you can serve our cause, James Armistead? What are your skills?
Sir, I am invisible.
Huh?
I'm a black man. Most white folk don't look at me. They don't think about me. They don't care about me. They don't fear me. Do you have any use for an invisible man?
This horrible southern heat. If General Clinton had heeded my advice and permitted me to crush Washington in the north, His Excellency would be a prisoner, and I wouldn't be in Virginia sweating like some beast of burden.
General Arnold, sir, you ordered me to bring you any Negroes offering service?
Ah, yes, in return for their freedom. They value freedom above all else. That is why Negroes can be relied on. Bring them in. How long have you lived in this area?
All my life, sir.
You know your way around, even in the dark?
Yes, sir.
You will serve me as my guide. First, clean my coat. And I do hope you have a talent for killing mosquitoes. Lieutenant, I shall not wish to be disturbed tonight. Now and then I enjoy being alone with the trees, the crickets, and the frogs. I find it my sole opportunity these days for contentment and calm. If and only if there is a matter of extreme urgency, you will find me by the pond, just outside the northeast end of camp, relaxing.
This way!
After him!
Over here! Where'd he go?
You will find the spy in our camp, and you will hang him.
So we almost captured Arnold all because of James' armistead?
Oui, Henri. Perhaps James is the secret weapon we've been lacking.
Henri, I told you to put on your clothes.
Oui.
Good morning, sir. 3 more desertions last night.
It's this heat, Lieutenant. Our troops are from colder climates. I had hoped that seeing me wearing full uniform would inspire them.
Joubert, didn't you tell me there used to be warriors who fought naked?
You, Henri Lefebvre, are not a warrior.
Now Clinton calls me North. At least I can meet Washington in his foolish campaign to retake New York.
Sir, I'd like to continue to serve, sir. Please don't send me back to slavery.
General Cornwallis has arrived here in Petersburg. His lordship can always use another servant. The man doesn't even like to buckle his own shoes.
Thank you, sir. I'm much obliged.
An ambush! Captain Wayne, we wouldn't have lost any of your brave men at James River if we had intelligence of Cornwallis's plans.
Thanks for the lightweight uniforms, sir.
You are welcome. And now these rumors Cornwallis will be moving. But where? When?
Must have sent you back a lot of money, sir.
It was my pleasure.
Worth every penny to get you into something other than your underwear.
We must have information.
What about your spy, McKee? The one who helped you almost capture Arnold?
We have not heard from James Armistead in 2 months. It is my hope he has not been able to get a message out. It is my fear that he is dead or has run away.
I asked the spies, "Sir, do you have any last words?" "Yes, sir," he answered. "But if I told them to you, they wouldn't be mine anymore." More pie? Ooh. Now I shall tell you my news, which is not to travel outside this tent. Gentlemen, our fleet has finally arrived nearby at Chesapeake Bay. It will carry our troops to a position from which we will crush the rebels once and for all. We do not yet have orders as to where that position will be. Thank you, gentlemen, and good night. What's your name?
James, sir.
James, I wish to have a word with you about something quite grave.
Yes, sir?
I wish to talk to you about spying.
Lafayette had me write a letter to Washington for him. He told His Excellency he's devilish afraid of General Cornwallis.
He's just trying to get Washington to send help. Joubert's not afraid of anything. Who's that? James Armistead!
James!
Sir, General Cornwallis knows I am a spy.
Then how is it, James, that you are still alive?
I am a spy for General Cornwallis.
Cornwallis thinks you are working for him? James, you are brilliant!
Cornwallis is expecting General Clinton to send some of the British fleet to the Chesapeake Bay with troops and supplies.
But where will these ships take the British troops, mon ami?
If Cornwallis knows, he is insane, and he's careful with his maps and papers. But I'll find out, sir. I swear I'll find out.
You be careful, James. Now that Lord Cornwallis thinks you are spying for the British, you are in more danger than ever. It's only fair that I give you a chance to change your mind and never again return to the English camp. No one will think any less of you, my brave friend.
I'll need some phony papers to give Cornwallis.
You shall have them. But not quite yet.
And now that we have finally received the orders containing our army's real destination, you, James, shall take these orders to Lafayette with a false destination to lead him astray. Tell him you took them from my pocket when I was drunk.
Yes, sir.
You shall have your freedom and more. You Negroes take care of me, and I shall take care of you. James, is tea ready?
Another minute, sir.
Then, Lieutenant, let us enjoy 60 seconds of fresh Virginia air. This slave could make defeating the rebels significantly easier. Ah, it's lovely outside. Now, Lieutenant, we must use this particular spy very carefully.
Don't you feel like taking some air, too? I'll watch things here.
What are you doing?
Simply the best crumpets I've ever eaten. I can only imagine the astonishment on my face.
I know you'd be rewarded, but
Delicacy in front of this grubby
please
little
don't say anything.
man.
Please.
I desperately wish I'd demanded the recipe from the man, but I was so surprised. I simply didn't think of it. I hope, Lieutenant, that our forces do not similarly squander such a splendid opportunity. Excellent.
Cornwallis will move to near Yorktown here, where he'll wait for the British fleet to arrive in Chesapeake Bay. When his ships arrive, he will attack us.
Washington must know of this immediately. James, how did you learn this?
I was very nearly caught, General. I would have been put to death for treason if not for an African soldier fighting for the British. A man named Cato.
Cato? Isn't that the name of Moses' brother?
Yes, certainement! Cato!
We must find out if it is Moses' brother. James, please don't put yourself at any more risk. But if it's possible to find out, it would mean so much to both of them.
I owe the man at least that.
General Rochambeau lied to me. Our French fleet is headed for Chesapeake Bay in Virginia, not for New York as Rochambeau promised. My plan to take New York is ruined, but this might provide us with the opportunity we've been waiting for.
We know Cornwallis is at Chesapeake Bay, sir.
Yes, General Knox, at Yorktown. Admiral de Grasse will have 29 warships and 3,000 troops. Here, our army and Rochambeau could march south and join Lafayette on the other side of Yorktown. Here. We would then be surrounding the British by land and by sea.
So the army marches south. It could be the huge victory we've been hoping for.
Yes, James, it would certainly lead to a great victory, or a devastating defeat.
The risk would indeed be grave.
What if the march to Virginia in the heat decimates our troops? What if the French ships never reach Chesapeake Bay and leave us without naval support? What if we arrive here and the British fleet evacuates Cornwallis's forces? And worst of all, what if Cornwallis leaves before we even arrive in Virginia?
News of very great importance is on the way. In the meantime, my dear Marquis, it is of the most critical importance that, at all costs, you prevent Cornwallis from leaving Yorktown.
How can we hold Lord Cornwallis in Yorktown with so few men?
Sarah, please write back to His Excellency. I hope you will find we have taken the best precautions to lessen his lordship's chances of escape.
Yes, sir.
Is there any more, whatever this is?
These plans you recovered were clearly intended for a large new rebel force on its way here. To reinforce Lafayette. Fine work, James. So we shall indeed remain here at Yorktown until our fleet arrives. I want you to gather my senior officers back here in 20 minutes.
Cato. What? Do you have kin named Moses?
Moses? My brother.
James, what do you think about during your long walks between our camp and Yorktown?
The petition of James, a slave belonging to William Armistead. That your petitioner, convinced of the just right which all mankind have to freedom, even though he was a slave, did during the ravages of Lord Cornwallis through the state of Virginia, enter into the service of the Marquis Lafayette, that he often, at the peril of his life, conveyed messages from the Marquis into the enemy lines of the most secret and important kind, the possession of which, if discovered on him, would have certainly endangered his life. That for this duty, he should be set free, and his master paid for the loss of a valuable workman. Freedom, Sarah. Freedom.